For years we've loved Chris Isaak for hits like Wicked Game, Baby Did a Bad, Bad Thing, Somebody's Crying. We've been really lucky to get to know him even more over the past few months as a judge on the X Factor. This man is the only person who's got 2 contestants left, so he's probably feeling pretty happy with himself. He must be good. Chris Isaak, hello.
Seriously,
Hello.
you must be good.
You know something? I wish I could take credit for having, like, I've got 2 and everybody else is down to 1. The reality of it was luck of the draw that I got Cyrus and Big T. Yeah.
When you're on stage, obviously you've been performing for a long time.
At
You're
my
used to
age,
these
my
things.
equipment fails often. Yes.
But what are some of the things that have happened when you've been performing?
I was in Australia one time, and we were doing some big, like, football event or something. It was a big deal. And so we were there, and they made us rehearse the thing 17 times. It's one of those things like, this is really important, so we got to get the cameras right, the lights right. The sound guy says to me, here's your earpiece, here's your pack. And I said, do you want to tape it on? No, he goes, no, it's good. It clips on. I said, I know, but the clips seems like it's kind of loose. You want to tape that on? No, we're good. I asked him 2 or 3 times, and I thought, well, I can't make him.
Yeah.
We go out. I'm opening the song. The first note I hit, I look, and the pack just falls off on the floor and unplugs. So now I have, no sound. I can only hear the sound out in the audience. And I thought, well, I'm not stopping. Sorry, everybody, sorry, I'll be back later. No, I went, okay, I sang it. I could hear enough that I was on pitch, and I sang the song. But that sound pack was laying at my feet, and the sound man was about 20 feet ahead of me with his head just above the stage looking at me. And I kicked that sound pack as hard as I could. And man, I used to be a soccer goalie. I wish I would have been that good with kicking the ball. It went like a rocket towards his head. Luckily for him, it missed by about an inch.
You were seconds away from a Meatloaf-style disaster because in the history of our country, we've had terrible performances.
I've seen the Meatloaf disaster because we did the AFL Grand Final, and somebody played it for me. They go, look. You would have never noticed it if he hadn't called attention to it himself.
You reckon?
Entertainers always think everybody's watching them. Yeah. Everybody in that audience is talking to their friends, looking at each other. If you don't point out that you made a mistake, a lot of times the audience goes right past it.
There's one that we couldn't ignore. That was when Billy Idol came out to perform. Did you see that? He came out on a big hovercraft to the middle of the stage, says rock and roll, puts his fist in the air, and the power goes off. He's in complete darkness. And he couldn't even, he waited for about 5 minutes and then took off in his hovercraft again.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You've brought a guitar in, and I'm always impressed with you with your guitar. You can play anything. Can you play anything? So if I said, can you play classical gas?
Nope.
Can't play that?
On a day like today, we'd pass the time away, writing love letters in the sand.
When you write a song, do you go lyric first or song first? Do you come up
both.
with the tune?
I come up with both.
So it happens at the same time.
The things that come easy usually are the ones that people like. Wicked Game was like really easy. I'm sitting in my house and I just went, the world was on fire, no one could save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish lovers do. I wrote that immediately. I hung up the phone. This girl that I used to know called me up at 2 a.m. Chris, I want to come over and talk. Talk was a euphemism.
Yeah, sure.
And I went, I shouldn't have her come over. Every time I see her, my back hurts. No, I shouldn't. But she came over. And in the 2 minutes, the 20 minutes,
2 minutes, what, Chris?
Before the time it took her to get to the house,
all right.
By the time she got over, I had written the song.
Wow!
And when she got there, she was dressed to play, and I was going, just a minute. No, I don't want to. I'm singing, and I wrote the song really fast. I'm just thinking about wedding songs. I was in Hawaii, and I had time off, and I always bring a guitar wherever I always play guitar. And I have this guitar, it's like ukulele-sized guitar, and I'm walking down a beach in the middle of nowhere in Hawaii, and I see this couple, and they're a young couple, and she's got like a little veil thing, but it's like she's dressed like in Levi's, but you could tell she's like the bride kind of, and they're taking selfies out on the beach. And I said, hi, I said, are you guys just married? And they go, yeah, we just got married, and like this is our honeymoon, and you could tell it's really broke. And I said, can I play you a song for your your wedding? And they go, sure. And I played like a wedding song, Do you take this woman to be your wife, to have and to hold for the rest of your life? And I played this song, and they go, oh, that's so great. We had we didn't have any money for music or anything. The wife looks at me and she goes, you're that guy. And I go, yeah, I'm that guy. And she goes, will you play Wicked Game? And I play Wicked Game for them. And they took a bunch of pictures, and they go, we're going to tell our friends that we hired you for our wedding. So I went, good to have your guitar.
But you didn't point out the foibles of
No, I
Wicked
didn't point that out on the wedding.
You just played it, and that was great.
And their families are saying you couldn't afford to fly us to your wedding, but you hired Chris Isaaks.
Chris Isaaks at great expense. $8 it cost.
I like the idea of you just walking down the beach in Hawaii with a ukulele-sized guitar.
It's what better place to have a guitar is out on the beach.
Yeah. Chris, it's always great to see you. You're touring next year.
In April, but tickets are on sale in November from
November 23. I think that's my wedding anniversary.
See, we planned it. We kind of looked it up. We said, what do you think?
Now, Chris, how would you play us out of here? Say where you're leaving the studio. Chris Isaaks, it's been great to have you on the show.
Jonesy, Amanda, way out of hand. Slow down, you crazy radio folk. Keep modulating.
Oh,
thank you, bro.
Brilliant.